Well, ahead of the North American Leaders Summit next week, U.S. President Joe Biden will visit the border with Mexico to address one of the most pressing issues, the migration crisis. Alasdair Baverstock reports.
In Joe Biden's first visit to the US-Mexico border as president, he will find the city of El Paso, Texas, in the midst of a migration crisis. Undocumented migrant crossings along the US southern border topped 2.7 million last year, an all-time high. And here on the Mexican side of the Rio Grande in Ciudad Juarez, migration flows are only expected to increase in 2023. Adrian Ramos and his family arrived in Ciudad Juarez Friday after a grueling 3-month journey from Venezuela. They have joined their fellow migrants in sleeping on the river's concrete southern embankment.
There are lots of migrants here and from all over. From Venezuela, Nicaragua, Honduras, from many countries. We're sleeping here and in the center of town. There are thousands of us here.
If the migrants are forced to sleep on the streets, it's because the Mexican border city's shelters are full. Ricardo Diaz keeps watch overnight at the El Buen Pastor refuge, where he also lives for now as a migrant from Guatemala, and says migration flows are constant.
There are 20,000 migrants on the streets, or maybe even more, and more are arriving every day. Today alone, 10 people left our refuge, and 16 more arrived. This place is never empty.
Ahead of the North American Leaders Summit opening Monday, the US government set out new regulations, expanding the number of certain migrants allowed into the country who apply through legal means from abroad, but immediately expelling most who cross illegally. It's designed to discourage people from showing up in border towns like this. For local Mexican officials like Enrique Valenzuela, the hope is that the message gets passed down the migrant trail.
Everything is down to the information reaching those thinking about migrating, or those who are already on the move, or the announcements made by our governments. That way, we can be more prepared to handle migration flows as they arrive.
As El Paso prepares for the US president's visit, the border region as a whole hopes for a halt to the migration crisis. Alasdair Baverstock, CGTN, Ciudad Juarez, Mexico.